What's going on YouTube? Welcome to our page. My name is Andrew Damazio. I'm the pastor here at Rose Church in Portland, Oregon. If this is your first time being here and you like all of our movies, videos, everything there, make sure you like, subscribe so you can see everything that we're doing here at Rose Church. Today, you're going to watch a message of a new series we just started called Building Big People. We believe that here at Rose, we're not trying to build a big church and have a big auditorium. We're trying to build big people. There's a certain way that big people think, act, talk, live. So we want to talk about, in this series, what does it mean to be a big person? Today we're going to talk about that we actually deserve and we are called to live big lives. Enjoy this message.
We're starting a new series today, and I am so excited for this new series. We're starting a new collection of talks called Building Big People. Building Big People. And we're going to spend the next 6 Sundays on this theme, this topic, and I am so excited to talk about what does it mean to build big people. Let's go to the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6. And the Message version is going to be our kind of theme verse for the whole series. I'm going to jump around to some different places today. I don't say this lightly. I enjoy preaching every Sunday. I think every Sunday my goal, at least my heart, is that I am challenging you spiritually, emotionally, mentally to follow Jesus further. But there are certain Sundays that are unlike any other Sunday. There are certain Sundays that I believe that God has given me a thought or something to deposit, if you will, or challenge you with. And I think some Sundays are different than other Sundays. And I truly believe, I do not mean this, and I was like thinking about even saying it, going back and forth, but I really feel in my heart today that this sermon or this talk or this message or these thoughts I'm going to share today could change some people for the rest of their life. I seriously believe that this moment is going to shift some people in their future and their destiny, how they view the rest of their life. And so please just open your ears, open your heart. Here we go, 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 11 to 13. Message version, it'll be on the screen for you. I'm going to read it. This is Paul writing to a church in Corinth, hence the name Corinthians. Is a church in the city called Corinth. He's writing to the believers there, and he says, Dear Corinthians, I can't tell you how much I long for you to enter into this wide open, spacious life. We didn't fence you in. I love this sentence. I want you to catch this today. The smallness you feel comes from within you. Your lives aren't small, but you are living them in a small way. I'm speaking as plainly as I can and with great affection. I love this. Open up your lives. Live openly and expansively. We'll go back in that verse. We didn't fence you in. I love this sentence right here. It's what I'm going to dive in today. The smallness you feel comes from within you. The smallness you feel comes from within you. My title for our message today, and let's pray and get into the word, is what do you see? I want to ask you a question today. What do you see? Let's pray as we dive into 2 Corinthians. Father, I thank you for your word. I thank you that you are moving today, that you are speaking in our hearts. God, I pray for every single person, no matter in this building, in their bedroom, in their kitchen, in their car ride to work, God, maybe on their break at work with some friends and family. God, wherever people are watching, as we come into their homes right now, as we come into the room right now, would your spirit open up our lives? Would your spirit open up our ears to see and hear what you are doing, God? Would you let us see what you see? God, open our mind, open our heart today as we dive into this amazing few verses, Father. In your name I pray. And everyone said? How many have glasses today? Anyone have glasses in the room? Glasses or contacts online? Let me know in the chats. How many? Okay, here we go. My wife has contacts. My wife is pretty blind if she takes her contacts out. Or she has glasses. But you ever had like your vision lie to you? It's always the best, like when you're out in the park and everybody's like, when they're pointing to the clouds, you know, do you see that? You're like, what? You're like, do you see the horse jumping over the fountain and the people reading the book? You're like, no, I don't think you see that either. And if you see that, we need to talk about some other things you might be doing in the afternoons, okay? Like, and they always go like this, follow my hand. And it's the best. We see people in the park and they're like getting behind people's hands, like, no, I don't see how your vision lie to you. My wife recently had a story, and I asked her permission to tell this story, okay? And I'm not making this up. I cannot. That my wife recently had a story, a situation that happened to her, that her vision lied to her. She's in the car with my children. I mean, her children as well. But let's just say my children for the sake of the story, okay? She's in the car with Cruz and Quinn. My wife has very tender heart toward animals. Though she's allergic to all of them, she just can't touch them, okay? But she loves animals. Recently, my wife calls me and she's laughing so hard, I don't know what she's laughing about. I'm like, Julia, what? And she's laughing, she's FaceTiming me, and Cruz and Quinn are laughing, and I'm like, what is going on? She was like, babe, I was driving down the street. I was driving down the street, and as I was coming home, I saw a husky by itself, wandering up and down the street onto the side of the road, and no person was around, no dog owner was there. This husky was all by itself. And I'm thinking, the story goes, so the husky's in the car and I'm bringing it home. This is where I was like, babe, we don't need another dog. We have 1 and 2 kids. We're good. Like, do not bring this husky home. She's like, babe, I was driving down the road. There's a husky there. And I pulled over and I was like, come on, husky. Come on, baby. Come on. She's like calling this husky. As my wife talks to animals. Come on, baby. Come on, husky. She's calling this husky. She pulled over to the side of the road. My children, my offspring, are in the back seat of the car by themselves, okay? My wife is on the side of the road going, come on, husky. And as she got closer to this lonely left husky, it was not a husky, it was a coyote wandering around for food. My wife is on the side of the road calling a coyote. Come on. I bet you this husky was like, this lady I'm gonna eat this lady. I don't know. Come on, husky, come on. And then because she's not wearing her glasses, as she gets close, she goes, oh, that's a coyote. And just goes right back to the car. And she calls me, and she's losing it. And Cruz goes, Dad, Mom found a coyote. Like, Cruz thought it was so funny. And I'm like, Julia, how bad is your vision that you thought a husky was now a coyote, but her vision lied to her? I wonder how many times we're looking at life and we see a husky, but God sees coyotes. I wonder how many times God would be looking at something and we're looking at the same thing and we see something completely different. I want to really challenge you today. If God could take you and sit you down, maybe, third person, if you will, like, out of body experience, if you will. If God could sit you down and you could look at your life, what do you see? When it comes to your life, when it comes to your future, when it comes to your desire, when it comes to calling, purpose, fill in the blank. I wonder how many times we're sitting there looking at our life and we see something, God's like, I don't see what you see. I see something completely different than the life that you're looking at. And this is what I really feel today. I think so many of us, our prayers are asking God to change the image we look at, but God is asking us to change the vision which we see. I wonder how many times we're like, God, I want to look at a different marriage. I want to look at a different boss. I want to look at a different gift set. God, I want to look at something different. God's like, no, you don't need to look at something different. You need a new vision to see the image that you are looking at. And many of our prayer times, we're asking God to change the image, but He's asking us to change our vision. Because if you are like my wife, or many people in the room or online today, when you put your contacts in, you can be looking at the same thing, but the minute you get the correct lens, the image doesn't change, but the vision you see the image does. I wonder how many of us that God is wanting you to come sit and look at your life. Vision is so important in the Bible. Look at Proverbs 29:18. Vision is a big theme in the Bible. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, people perish. Where there is no vision, people cast off restraint. They don't follow obedience. They don't follow advice. When there's no vision, people go to the wayside. That is so real for many of our lives. When we don't see anything, we just tend to wander. When we don't have vision, when we don't have foresight, when we don't see something, we tend to wander. And I want you to write this down. I want you to think about this. Your building is affected by your vision. What do you mean by that? Many of you aren't building a life because you don't see one in the first place. Your building is affected by your vision. I can't tell you how many people I sit with in the last 10 years of me being in ministry, but especially younger teens, younger 20-year-olds, people trying to figure out life. I'm like, what do you see? And they're like, nothing. What do you want to do? I have no idea. What do you want to go to school for? I have no idea. What do you think God's doing? I have no. What are they saying? I have no vision. Do you think many people, the mistakes they make are not character mistakes, they're vision mistakes? I think many people, the mistakes we make in our lives is not because we're bad people, we have bad vision. I wonder how often people wouldn't have made the mistake they made if they saw something better in their future. But when people see nothing, whatever happens, happens. Because I don't see anything. I really feel today that God is wanting to take you and go, let's look at your life. Because I see something different than you see. I love Disneyland, though it's closed right now. Hopefully it's open. I've been to Disney World one time when I was like 10 or 12 years old, and I got really interested with the person Walt Disney and started reading some books and quotes and just about his life and this person that built these amazing parks and movies, and this man's vision is challenging to me. And Walt Disney died in 1966. Disney World started being built in 1965, but it wasn't open until 1971. Disney World was open in 1971, but Walt Disney died in 1966. There's this famous story when it comes to Disney World that all the C-suites, all the CEOs, the CFOs, all the people that were getting ready the day before Disney World opens, the day before, they're all sitting there in this massive theme park and everything that Disney World is. And one C-suite, one individual goes, man, today's actually a sad day for me. It's not a good day for me. I know Disney World's opening tomorrow, but today's not a good day for me. And the rest of the staff goes, what are you talking about? He's like, because I wish Walt Disney could have seen this day. I wish Walt Disney could have seen Disney World being opened. I'm just really saddened that he's not going to see this. And the CEO goes, what do you mean? We're only sitting here because he saw it. The only reason we are sitting here is because Walt Disney saw it before it ever happened. I love this quote by Helen Keller. The only thing worse than being blind is having no vision. The only thing worse than being blind is having no vision. I want to challenge you today. What do you see when it comes to your life and your marriage and your future and your kids? What do you see? If God could take you in a little bit out of your life and a little out of your closed world and go, what are you looking at? What do you see when it comes to your life? What do you see when it comes to your future? Because I see something different than you see. And so I love Isaiah 55 that says, his ways are higher than our ways, and his words are higher, and his thoughts are higher from the heavens to the earth. God thinks differently than we think. And by the way, not just about our lives, but about people. God has a knack of seeing people differently than we see them. God can look at a David as a little shepherd boy on the side of a hill with sheep, nobody around, no one knows his name. Well, everybody thinks he's a shepherd. God sees a king. God can look at people like Peter, who is a fisherman, has nothing to offer, nothing to give, and he becomes the first preacher of the first church, of the first message after the kingdom of God. He can look at Timothy, some small, quiet little person in a little town called Lystra, and he becomes the biggest leader outside of Paul in the New Testament. God can look at Ruth and see a redemption story. God can look at individuals and see things in them that nobody else sees. So I wonder how many of you, are you asking God to come down, or is he asking you to come up? How many of our prayers like, God, come see what I see? He's like, no, you need to come see what I see. God, do you see in this boss? Do you see in this marriage? Do you see this future? Do you see my school? Do you see my day? He's like, yeah, I know what you see, but you need to come see what I see. Because my ways are higher. My thoughts are higher. I have a different perspective than you. I see things you don't see. I think things that you will never think. I need you to join me up here. I'm not coming down there. I had this thought in my mind that I've really been praying about. I pray when people, I know right now we have 50 people in the room and we're online scattered throughout this city and throughout this town, but there is coming a day when our door is going to open again and this room is going to be filled once again with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people seeing something and worshiping and seeing each other. I know it looks dim right now. I know it looks scarce right now. I know it looks like there is no end, but there is going to come a day when we get back in this building and do what we do. And my prayer is when people come in this room, they do not catch a vibe, they catch a vision. I pray when people come through our doors, they don't just feel a vibe and feel an energy and feel an aura. They go, I see something for the first time. I see something for my kids. I see something for my money. I see something for my friends. I don't know what it is, but when I walked in, I feel like preaching. It was more than the coffee. It was more than the friends. It was more than the signs. When I walked in, I saw something. God forbid that people only catch a vibe when they come to our church. Oh, people are good looking and the food is good and the coffee is cool and the stage is awesome. Is that all you catch when you come here? Or when you walk in, you go, I see a marriage happening. I see my kids being raised with other like-minded. I see my money being put to purpose for the first time. I see other business-minded people that we could enter. I see something. Why? Because we're not trying to build a big church. We're trying to build big people. We're not trying to fill seats for seats' sake. We're trying to fill an auditorium with people that have a bigger vision than what they started with and a bigger mentality than what they started with. And if we can get a church to go, I'm being built into a big person and a big marriage and a big mindset and a big wallet to give and to serve. Why? Because we're not building a big church for a big church's sake. We're building big people. Because God forbid our seats are filled, but our mind is empty. God forbid that we have a church of a couple thousand people that are filling Sundays, but Monday through Saturday is empty. Do you see anything? No, not for your friend. No, for you. Why is it we are so strong to pray for everybody else but ourselves? Why is it so easy to have faith for their marriage, but yours is gone? Why is it so easy to pray for their business, but yours is destroyed? Because it's different to fight for your own vision. And I feel this today, that God is taking some of you going, let's talk about what you see. Because you don't need a new life, you need a new vision. I pray that when we open these doors again, and there's thousands of people back in this building, that people are catching a vision. Because without vision, people perish. Because if you are seeing nothing, you will build nothing. I want to land somewhere today and get real personal. These keep so annoying. Gosh. All right? That was annoying me so bad. I don't know if this is better, but it is what it is. John 10:10. Can I get that 10 up here? John 10:10. This is my prayer for you today. If I could sit in front of every one of you at your home, here in the building, if it was just me and you. John 10:10, Jesus says this. He says, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I come to give life and life more abundantly. Then LT says, I have come to give a rich and satisfactory, satisfying, fulfilling of a life. So if Jesus died for rich, why are you so poor? And some of you are like, my wallet? No, your soul. Don't get this rich thing twisted. Don't get the prosperity gospel twisted that God came for your wallet to be rich. No, he came for your soul to be rich. So if Jesus died for satisfactory, to be satisfied, to be fulfilled, to have satisfying, why are we so thirsty? Why are we so hungry? Because we are living below the life that was died for you. I have come to give not just life more abundantly. Paul tells the Corinthians, why are you living such a small life? Why are you so closed in? And then he says this, the smallness you feel was not from us. It's coming from within you. I wonder how many of us have blamed our small life on them. And I'm not saying what they did wasn't real. All I'm saying is it's not powerful enough to keep you small. I thought about this. There is a story in the book of Genesis, chapter 12. God comes to Abram and says, I'm going to give you many nations as your children. And the Bible says Abram in Genesis chapter 12 is sitting in his tent. And God's talking about nations of the world, and I'm going to have the rest of mankind come through your loins. And this whole thing, your children will be numerous. And Abraham says, I don't see it. My wife is barren and I'm old. And God says, get out of your tent and look up. When I was praying for many of you today, I feel this. The reason why you live a small life, let's ask the question, why? Why do we live so small? Why do we think so small? And it's simply this, because you've told yourself you don't deserve big. That's why. You believe the lie that this little tent of your life that you're living in is all that you see. And many of you are inviting God into your tent, but He's inviting you into His creation. Hey, son and daughter, I see something bigger for you. You're like, God, not in this tent. Hey, God, why don't you come in here and look at the pain that I've dealt with? Hey, God, why don't you come in my tent and see the abuse that I've experienced? God, come in my tent and see the family lineage that I come from. What are you asking God? God, come be small like me. Come down and sit in my little life, my little tent. Why is it so hard for you to believe that you can't live a big life? Because I don't deserve it. I don't deserve good because I've only ever done bad. And God today is coming to unzip the smallness you feel. And He's asking you to dare to get outside your tent and look up and look around and go, I think there's something bigger for me. I think I've been living too small in this little tent. I think I've asked God to come down too often. I've refused to come up, and I don't know why, I don't think I deserve it. I've screwed up too many times. I really feel that God is wanting to come today and go, I see something different than you. I want you to say this out loud every day. This is so cheesy, but I'm telling you right now, some of you need to say this into a mirror in your face. I deserve an abundant and filled life. It's even awkward to say. I want to challenge every single person in this room and online. I want you to say every day, I deserve an abundant and filled life. Why do I deserve it? Not because of what you've done, but because that's what Jesus came and died for. That because of Jesus, I can live an abundant life. Oh, you mean a bigger house? No, sir. You mean more cars? Not necessarily. You mean more stuff for my business? No, that's not what I mean. Because there are some people so poor, all they have is money. Oh, don't get this twisted. I don't mean big, like big wallets and big cars and big life and, No. I mean, big on the inside. Big soul, a big heart, a big vision. I'm gonna get into what big people do and how they act and who they are. But before I even get into what they are, you need to understand that's you. Before I even talk about what a big person does, how a big person talks, how a big person acts, what God's bigness is for you, before we even get into the behavior of a big person, let's talk about the belief that you are a big person. Yeah, this is for me. Some of you for the first time, I do have a big future. God does have big things for me. There is the big thing inside of me, a big vision and a big soul. I deserve an abundant life. Yeah, you. I know what 7th grade was like. I know. You still deserve a big life. Yeah, I know what you did last summer, and not the movie, but I know what you did last summer. And guess what? You still deserve an abundant life. You know what I did when I was a junior? You still deserve an abundant life. You know what's happened to me. What was done for you is a bigger deal than what was done to you, by the way. I get, and some of you, you're arguing with me right now. No, you. If I could sit you down right in front of me, I would look you in the face and go, you deserve a big life. Why? Because Jesus came to give life, and life more abundantly. An abundant life. I think the same thing that Jesus is saying through Paul to the Corinthians, who fetched doing, God was saying the same thing to Abram in Genesis 12. Why are you so small? And many of us, our answer is, I don't deserve it. I'm a big hugger, awkward hugger. I will jump on you, COVID and all, okay? I will find you, I will hug you, I will have a mask on, calm down, but I'm a big hugger. You know my favorite people to hug? People that don't like being hugged. And I can see you from a mile away because you start walking like this. You start avoiding me. I will come find you if you hate hugs. I will find you. You know, the best thing in the whole world is when I hug somebody who hates to be hugged. It's awkward for about 10 seconds until they go, and they hug back. Many of you, God's trying to hug you, and you're like, I can't. I don't, please, no, and you've been going like this for 10 years, just trying to get out of his hands, and he's just going to hug you till you go. You know what it's called? Grace. The undeserved, the unmerited favor and grace of God. Man, I haven't cried in a while. This is pretty good. I wonder how many of you, the mistake you made is not because you wanted it. You just didn't see anything worthwhile to build. That's why you made the mistake. That's why you made the decision, because you're like, I'm not building anything anyway. I don't see anything anyway. So what does this mistake matter if I'm not going anywhere? Why does this decision matter if this is all I have? This is all I'm going to stay. If this is all I have, I might as well keep doing what I'm doing. But if you would dare to get a vision, if you would dare to see something beyond next Monday, if you would dare to see something for your friends, for your spouse, for your kids, if you would dare to lift your eyes and go, man, I see something now. These are such a petty deal. Now that I see something, I'm not going to make these petty decisions anymore. I'm not going to make these mistakes. I'm not going to think, why? Because I deserve an abundant life. Some of you need to fight for yourself for the first time. You're not their keeper. Let God take care of them. Just leave them alone. God will take care of them. How about you come back to your life for a bit? Because I'll end here. I got to end. The band's wanting to sing. Many of us, man, I feel this. Many of us, we can't build a life because every day we're busy repairing what we did yesterday. every day we're trying to fix yesterday. The reason why we can't catch momentum and catch a vision and we can't build anything because every day we're trying to fix yesterday. And then we fix yesterday, then today happens, and we're just keep fixing yesterday. Because we can't see anything. What do you see? Some of you are like, come on, Husky, come on. And God's like, that relationship's a coyote. Stop calling for it. That job, come on, Husky, come on. And God's like, you think she's a husky? You think that job's a husky? You think that move? No. I see a coyote. Get away from what do you mean you see a husky? But we just can't see nothing. You're gonna hate going to our church if you want to live small. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna have you think bigger and dare to believe, to do something with your life. Dare to jump. You might fall. You probably will, but it's better than sitting and failing. I'd rather fall forward than fall backward. Every head bowed, every eye closed. Online, wherever you're at, if you're at home with people, you're in your kitchen making eggs and you're crying everywhere, just let the eggs be. If you're on your car going somewhere, I don't know where you're at, let me pray for you. If you're in this room, if you're online, and you would dare to say, I see nothing. I have no vision of my future. I have no vision of my marriage and my kids and my money. I'm just living day by day. I'm just going wherever the wind blows. I see nothing. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of seeing nothing. If that's you today, if you're in this room, if you're online, just say, that's me, or say something in the chats. And you're like, I need vision. I need to see something. I need God to shift what I see. Would you just put your hand up and say, that's me? I see nothing. If you're online, let me know in the chats. Man, I see nothing. Anyone else? I'm believing that vision is coming today. Anyone else? If you're bold enough to lift your hand and say, that's me. I see nothing. Holy Spirit, right now, I pray for every hand in this room and in people's hearts right now, though they might not be saying anything. You are moving in homes and car rides and bedrooms, God, and kitchen areas, God, in dorm rooms, God, wherever people are watching right now. Father, you are the author of vision. Genesis 1 says that you saw nothing. You saw void and spoke the world into existence. God, you were not scared of nothingness. You're not scared of void. It's not your first go around taking something that was nothing and making it something. Father, I pray for every mind, every heart, every eye right now. God, let us see something bigger. Believe something bigger. God, ultimately, let it be settled today. I deserve an abundant life. I deserve this. This is my portion. Not because of me, but because of Jesus. Came to give me life and life more abundantly. God, I pray for an abundant life, an abundant vision right now. In your mighty, mighty name I pray. And everyone said, can we stand to our feet? We're going to worship today.